And I believe we have audio. We're live and we have audio. So,
I might, Rick.
Hey. All right.
Hey, dudes.
So I'm going to hit this button here. That way I can read this. Holy chat, Batman. Greg's blowing up the chat already. What have you been doing, man?
Hey, I'm saying hi to everybody.
I'm trying to get everything set up. And he's over here just like being
Well,
on
you're
it.
doing the technical stuff, so I'm doing the haze.
Wow. What's up?
Holy chat, Batman.
All
Great.
those haze.
What have you been doing, man?
Uh-oh. Somebody's got me on speaker. All right, so we've got a couple things going on tonight. Is episode 5. It's half and half. We got Jedha After Dark. Episode 5 of JAVAJAWAJAW. That's what we got going on tonight. Normally, if you guys have been paying attention to this, we record these things on Saturday mornings. But like I said earlier, nobody wanted to hang out with Terry this week.
That's right.
Ooh.
Even Terry.
True. I'm the last person that wanted to hang out with me because I knew everything that was going on in the house.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we didn't want to hang out with him. And
This was wretched.
yeah.
Yeah.
I felt bad for you because you had it last week, and then on Saturday you were like kind of up and running, doing your thing, and then boom, like he's done.
It was a completely different strain. I straight up had one strain of the flu and then beat it. And then like 2 days later, I picked up a completely different strain of the flu. Different symptoms, everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. The week before it was just like, all I want to do was sleep. I just felt awful. And then today, this week, it's just been like nothing but coughing fits all the time. But I got my halls.
Halls.
I got my herbal tea with lemon and my. This is a Star Wars podcast, and I got a Marvel thing going on. But
I have my coffee.
I got a Marvel thing going on.
so Kent's not going to fault me for that.
I got a Mando. Well, I have a fake Mando thing going on.
Ah, that's fine, man. There's nothing fake about that. That's the original.
Yeah,
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, he's good to go.
Yeah.
So, a couple things going on for all you guys out here in the chat. We're going to talk about episode 5 of The Mandalorian. So, if you have not seen it, this is your spoiler warning. That's all
This
you
is
get.
it. After this,
Spoilers.
can't blame us.
Yeah, it came out 3 days ago, and if you haven't seen it in the first hour, I'd say probably by 11 o'clock on Friday morning. If you haven't seen it by then, it's your own fault. I don't want to tell you. Spoiler alert. Is there an I in there, or is this a spoiler?
There's a mat.
There's an I. One of the things... Thank you. One of the things we wanted to do, we've been wanting to have Greg on here, and since we were going to go live tonight and talk about it, we figured
Perfect opportunity.
this is the time, because Greg has some good thoughts. We talked earlier today. It's got some good thoughts about this here Mando situation. And I'd love to hear some, while we're talking about this, the feedback in the chat, guys. If you're enjoying the JAVAJAWAJAW, let us know some feedback in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. If you don't like it, don't tell us.
Please don't.
But if you do like it,
That's cool.
but we were talking about this thing. One spoiler. Also, yesterday morning, Kent, Mrs. Jedha, and myself went out and bought about $1,200 in toys for Tots, which was super fun. And video coming soon on that. Kent's already got his video out, so go check his video in his channel. Mine will be out maybe tomorrow night, something like that. So
That's cool. I missed that. I didn't see.
yeah, definitely got that going on. But episode 5, Gunslinger. Once I saw the title, I knew it was on, man. I was excited. So
yeah.
boom.
Off to a hell of a start on that. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys think of the title character.
Of the title character.
The gunslinger, yeah.
Greg, you're the newbie here.
You want to chime in on that, Greg? What do you think?
Well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The title sort of had me wondering when I first saw it. Like, wait a minute, gunslinger. Then I'll be honest with you, parts of me thought of Han Solo for a minute.
Yeah.
That immediately jumped in my head because, the way he wore his blaster and everything, way Han did, it always reminded me of the old westerns, And so I'm thinking Gunslinger, wait a minute, is something going to come into this episode that might totally freak everybody out and go, what the heck? So it threw me for a loop when I first saw it, when I first saw the Gunslinger.
What about you, Kim? What'd you think of that?
Gunslinger, I was excited. Not that episode 4 was a filler, but I felt like we were getting back into the mix. So, Gunslinger, I loved how the episode started off. Little firefight. We got to see our first Star Wars in The Mandalorian, so that was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's valid, yeah.
It was
fine.
Yeah, the title character. I think you were meant to. I think you were meant to not like him. I think that was their intent, and it worked.
But now, as the episode went on, and the other character came into it. Oh, wait a minute! Now he's the gunslinger. That's what I was thinking, because the way he was acting when. I might be jumping ahead, but when Mando was like sleeping, which reminded me of Young Guns, twirling the guns and this and that, and so yeah, that's when everything sort of shifted for me. Is when I thought, oh wait a minute, you're not talking about Mando per se, you're talking about
right
the little young idiot.
That's the new title, the young idiot,
the young gun.
Well. If I've had a lot of time to think about this, and we've brought this up in multiple JAVAJAWAJAWs, how I've watched like all the Clint Eastwood movies growing up and everything like that.
Right.
And my first thought was like, oh my God, this is Unforgiven. This is some young upstart bounty hunter who's wanting to collect a bounty, but he knows he can't do it alone, so he recruits a more of a veteran bounty hunter to help him out. So I thought, this is what they're doing here, and it was very superficial, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But then I got to looking at the gunslinger, Toro. What's his last name?
Right?
Calacan. Toro Calacan.
Yeah.
Sorry, there goes the coughing fits.
From Brilliant.
Yeah. It brought me back to something Harold Green was talking about, how he thought that it was just a little bit too on the nose with the way everything, right down to the way that he was sitting at that table with his feet propped up on it, just like Han was. He was dressed like Han. Everything was just so on the nose. And I thought about that, and I think this is what I think they were doing, okay? The gunslinger is supposed to be what Han Solo would have been if he wasn't at his core a good person. Because I think all the way through like Solo, if you watch the movie Solo, you realize that Han doesn't really he doesn't want to open up and admit that he's a good guy.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I go with that.
He straight up says, "I'm not." But well, if that was the case, then he wouldn't have done all the things that he did. And if Han Solo would have been there at the beginning of that instead of Toro, then the outcome would have been completely different.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like a character study. You're looking at you've got Han Solo there, but it's not really Han Solo. It's Han Solo with a blacker heart. If that's not too cheesy.
Yeah. Well, he had the appearance kind of an early Han with the gun belt and obviously sitting in the cantina and the whole swagger. I'll take it back. He had fake swagger. He was posing.
Yeah. Yeah. So does Han.
Because as soon as Mando decided he was going to walk off, then he got like a little puppy and he was like, "Oh, please help me," and all this guy. So it was fake swagger, man.
Yeah.
Han didn't give a crap.
You don't think that was like Han too? You don't think Han's kind of fake with his swagger as well?
Man, maybe in the movie Solo, yes. I don't know. He kind of got a little timid when Jabba caught him and all that. Man, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Huh.
We'll kind of jump there. I want to kind of back up to where Ken was talking about with the space battle, because there was a pretty good line in there. I thought when when the bounty hunter said, "What did he say, Kent?" I know you're gonna bring it up.
Take you in hot, take you in cold.
Right.
And Amanda says, "That's my line." Pew pew.
Ooh.
I just think it's funny that bounty hunter ship fired about 16,000 rounds at Mando's ship. Mando just basically put his in reverse, trashed his own ship, then shot that guy out of the freaking sky.
With
And
one
you
shot.
know, it's not like Mando's ship is all that maneuverable, man. Did you notice that? He's not really doing a lot. He's just trying to.
I know it's like flying a C-130 fuel tanker.
Yeah, he's like the stormtrooper of bounty hunters there.
Who knew you could throw on the brakes that fast in space? That's pretty good. I don't know what the physics of that are.
Which, okay, now I'm going to bring this up. When I saw that scene, the first thing I thought of was Top Gun,
Yep.
Maverick, threw the brakes on, flew up, came back, boom. First thing I
100%.
thought of,
That was
Maverick.
100%. Yep. I thought the same thing, and I enjoyed it, so I'm not knocking it.
Yeah.
I just
definitely.
thought that I don't know how the physics of that actually work in space. Is that a thing in space? I don't know, but it is in the Mandalorian universe.
Well, I did like when everybody sort of, when Mando and Baby Yoda just went, ugh, when the brakes went on, the restraints caught them, and that was
Right.
a pretty humorous little scene.
And you really should only do that if you have like gravity and inertia going towards you. I don't know how that works in space. I've never been to space. I don't know. But I did enjoy the line. They says that's my line, and I enjoyed that. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, it's almost like he wasn't really ticked off, didn't really care until you took over his line. That, oh, really? Okay, fine.
Which makes you wonder how many times he said this line.
Right.
Makes you wonder that, right? But he gets it, and then he gets the he gets the ship all busted up, whatever, and then he goes down to land, and then we hear over the radio thing, Mos Eisley Tower, and I was like, yes.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Yeah,
I literally had to hit I was watching on my iPad, so I hit the rewind by 10 seconds thing. I was like, did I actually hear that? I hit the thing, and it said, "Yep, that's what I heard." That was cool. That's cool. I know a lot of people are complaining about that, but you really shouldn't be. It's Star Wars.
Yeah,
They're in
no.
the same galaxy, same universe. So. Kind of crazy. Harold says, I like the chapter a little bit better the second time. Oh, Harold Green, he was hating on that chapter 5.
I knew he'd like it. I knew you would like it better when you saw it again. I knew it.
I think it's the flu. He's sick. Harold has the flu as well, and I think that was the flu.
See, yeah, obviously, yeah. It's
He didn't like
That's
anything because he had the flu.
That's because he said he didn't like it. The flu bug went after him after he said that because,
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. We got it was pretty cool when he said the Mos Eisley Tower, which it was interesting because I don't remember who's in control of the place at this time. It's clearly not the Empire, and it's not the Hutts. So who the heck? Who's running the tower?
maybe it's not really. Maybe there's nobody really in charge. I mean, maybe it's just run. I don't want to say privately, but by the community. It might also explain why there wasn't a whole lot of business going on in Chaman's Cantina.
Right.
But
well, if you think about it, like if we go through, and this is just my take on, because I don't know near as much about the whole back part of Star Wars and stuff like that, but every single episode, the one thing that still generates in my head every time I watch it is basically a outlaw state of affairs across the entire galaxy, it seems, because everywhere he's been, everywhere he goes, there is no definitive leadership or anything.
yeah, it's the frontier.
Yeah, Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Boom.
It's like everywhere he goes is Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I keep waiting on somebody to say, "Hey, I'm your Huckleberry."
So there is no law that unites all these different worlds. It's where the law is wherever you're at, whatever the people who live there say it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's and that to me is one of the fascinating things about it.
I like it.
Yeah, because in reality, you could sort of realize that if you go back to, and I mean, I've heard you guys say it, and we've all talked about it, but everything about this just oozes Western.
Spaghetti Western, especially.
Yes, I mean, and you like you said a while ago, Clint Eastwood movies, the old B westerns, where it's just everything about this just oozes it, and that's
why it's so familiar, and I think that's why so many people are engaged with it. I mean, it's a format that we're all comfortable with, that we've all grown up with, and that are if the people the generation after ours are their parents, we've grown up with it, so we like brought it onto them and. Right. Forced it onto them, if you will, but
which is funny because we'll throw this out there. I'm gonna throw this out there because we're talking about this in generations. We made it. There was something in one of our chats earlier about a newly beloved character who is bringing people into the fold of Star Wars.
That's worth talking about.
I think so. I mean, I don't want to step on. I don't care. We can step on toes. It's fine. So we got this, and again, we got Baby Yoda because we don't know what the heck his name is.
Child.
Is it a he? I don't even know. I don't know.
They're still calling it the child within their inner circle. If you watch interviews, they all call it the child.
Yeah, and on the Funko dropped, they're drinking the Funko Pop. I think it just says the child. They're doing a 10-inch version, which. Honestly, I might buy. We'll see.
10-inch pop.
I might buy.
Right? Yeah.
Right. It'd be life size, right? So I might buy. I don't know. But this character in the eyes and the mouth, the whole cute factor thing is people are talking about it everywhere because it's everybody who is making their own merchandise is just throwing out copyrights and licensing out the window, and they're like, no, we're going to capitalize this on before Disney gets all their crap out. We're going to put all our stuff out.
Don't buy that, and nobody go out and buy that. Just wait until the proper stuff comes out.
Yeah. It's great. I've seen like crochet kits and it's just all kind T-shirts with everybody. Whatever. So, anyways. What it's doing though is it's having people who could care less, who know nothing about Star Wars, know nothing about anything, are just enjoying the aesthetics of this particular puppet. And if that gets more people watching Star Wars, rock and roll, man, it's all good.
Yeah.
But are they just going to be sticking around for Yoda or whoever, the child, and then they're Bolton that could care less? I don't know.
I'm of two minds about it. I'm right there with you, Ryan, because I feel like anything that's going to bring more people into Star Wars is okay, as long as they embrace Star Wars as a whole, and don't start bringing their own interpretation into it, and like start pointing out all the things that they don't like about Star Wars, that they didn't like about Star Wars in the first place, that prevented them from being a part of Star Wars. If this is the only thing that they like about Star Wars, then they're
missing out.
No, yeah, they're missing out. Yeah.
And that's
I don't want to be a gatekeeper by any stretch of the imagination, but
oh yeah, not at all.
Yeah, I just want to. There is part of me that just looks at them and wants to say, "Stay in your lane, tourist." You know.
I get that.
I've
seen that before. Yeah, I don't know if it gets more people into it and they watch that and they enjoy it. Now, all right, so let me throw this question out to you guys. Greg, I'll ask you this. If somebody's first experience was The Mandalorian, Star Wars universe, first experience Mandalorian, and let's say they liked it.
They did or didn't like it?
They did. Which film would you direct them to go see first?
Oh, God.
If they like The Mandalorian, which film would you direct them to go see first? Boom. Mic drop.
Well, the one movie that I don't even know if anybody will even remotely. I mean, I think Solo reminds me of The Mandalorian the most.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah, I'll back that 100%. I was thinking the same thing.
Solo?
The way it was shot, the way The Mandalorian shot, the way the scenes are set up, the way the characters are, the lighting, the dialogue. There's so many similarities between those two.
Well, there's no Jedi. There's no Force. Well, other than the child one use of it so far.
Right.
There's no politics really.
Well, the thing that there's no politics, but the thing that I like about it, it's to me, I'm looking at Mandalorian more as an origin story, and Solo was an origin story, and like I said, the characters just seem to meld a little bit more. Yeah. That's still a hard. I mean, I do know that a person I work with, believe it or not, had never seen any Star Wars. They did start watching Mandalorian, and now 2 Star Wars movies in. They're actually binge watching Star Wars right now.
Boom.
So
what's their take? What's their take on the Star Wars world outside of the Mandalorian now that they've dipped into the pool?
and it's funny because he actually came to me Thursday, and he was like, it sort of all makes sense in a way. He said, but I'm sort of looking at the Mandalorian as something maybe in the past, and I'm like, well, okay, but there's so much. But he's just like, he's not really comparing them right now. He's just, hey, I need to watch these other ones, so maybe it'll make a little bit more sense down the road. And I'm like, hey, just as long as you're, like you said, Terry, as long as you're watching the wars,
and not just watching but appreciating, just just...
He actually came back. He was telling me, he goes, how did I not start watching this sooner?
I guess what I'm saying is kind of like a version of gatekeeping, though. I mean, if you don't really, as long as you're enjoying it, I guess really is as long as you're not sitting there, as long as you're not sitting there not enjoying it, to the extent that later on you're going to come up to somebody like me or one of you guys and try to pick it apart,
right?
And try to ruin somebody else's enjoyment of it. You know what I mean?
I haven't seen that just yet, and I hope not. That's human nature is to complain about things, and I get it. But it's I'm with you on that. But I think this is an opportunity for Disney, and especially Disney Plus, if they're going to do stuff like this. It's gonna grow the audiences. I'm excited about it, man. I really am. Yeah. What do you think, Kent?
I would totally confuse people and tell them to go watch Empire. And then they'd see this guy and they'd be like, oh man, that guy's a Mandalorian too. that would be my movie choice.
Yeah. I was thinking
Return of the Jedi. I don't want to see Fett go in the Sarlacc pit again, but definitely right to Empire.
I was thinking either Solo for similarities or Rogue One. I like Rogue One.
Well, yeah, and Rogue One's an origin type story.
It's a story. It's not a Western per se. It didn't have the Western vibe to me, but it's got some
to me, Rogue One had the Saving Private Ryan feel to it.
It does. Yes, that's exactly the vibe that I'm
Saving Private Ryan. Yes,
Saving Private Ryan. All
because
day.
If you know anything about Star Wars, you know the beginning. You know the end from the beginning. You know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
But that doesn't make it any less awesome. So right on that. Well, I just figured I'd ask you guys about it because we were talking about new people coming in, enjoying the wars, and then where would they go from that? So once the season 8 finale comes out in a few weeks, there's going to be a little lull, and we're going to need to direct traffic a little bit. So.
Well, if you're talking about any media, I would definitely get into some Clone Wars and then Rebels, because I know I've enjoyed watching both of those shows, and I've gone right to the Mandalorian storylines in both of those shows. So,
right.
If you're looking at all media, those are a couple good places to go if you want some more Mandalorian information.
That's kind of target specific, as long as somebody doesn't mind watching animated shows. My wife, for instance, you could never talk her into watching anything animated except for the fantastic Mr. Fox. But they'd have to appreciate animation, I guess. But you're right; those stories are some of the best stories that have come out of Star Wars.
Right. Well, I agree with that. So we're gonna get in. We got this guy. We made it very far. He landed. He landed in this hangar, and once again says no droid. And we get Amy Sedaris, who I didn't recognize whatsoever.
I knew her, but I had to look it up, and I was like, yes, yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Or AKA Ellen Ripley,
Right.
right?
Oh my God, yeah.
It was like a straight
So
copy.
much.
I was like, "Whoa, we're gonna
So much. Yeah.
What are we getting attacked by aliens here? What's going on?"
She was so good. Her character was so damn Shakespearean, man. It just gave us a different, like a blue collar perspective on the Mandalorian's world. I mean, for the limited time that she was actually in his life, she wasn't there for the whole episode,
Right.
but just it was just such a neat perspective, and the comic relief that she provided, and the pit droids provided. It was
Pit
really
droids
old school Star
back.
Wars at its finest.
The pit droid, yeah, we got some prequel droids in there, which is pretty awesome.
I love the droid passing the card to the other droid.
I missed that.
Did you? Oh, when they're playing,
I didn't see
the
that.
poker or whatever.
Yeah.
You got the two droids that are closest to the camera. The one he leans over and he's like, put the
Totally
card
missed
to the-
that. Seriously.
Yeah.
It was so. I was like, again, Lando, Han Solo hiding the card.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's a droid helping his buddy cheat, which
Yeah.
Lando cheats, and I don't know. That was just a neat little. I didn't see it the first time. The second time I watched it, it's when I saw it. I was like,
Well,
that's nice.
I asked a question earlier. I think I was talking to Greg or Kent or both or somebody. I don't know. Might have been Terry. I don't know. But the question, this Mando keeps saying that he doesn't want to deal with droids. Well, in episode 3, 4, whatever, I can't remember. He had to flash back to where his parents were. His village was attacked, and there were these super battle droids, right? So I'm wondering if he doesn't like droids because of the attack on his village and his people killing his parents and all that kind of stuff. So,
I don't know why I never made that connection, but I think you're 100% right.
Good reason.
Yep.
Well-
That makes total sense.
yeah.
I told Ryan today it's because him and Ripley had a thing going on, and she told him how much she hated those synthetics.
Ryan and
So-
Ripley have a thing going on?
I was making. So she just let him. They don't trust droids. I don't trust synthetics. Don't trust droids.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's again. I think we'll probably find out, but that's the only conclusion I can get to.
It's logical.
Yeah.
There's definitely some hatred there.
Oh, no
I mean-
question. Like he doesn't even want him working on his ship. No
Well,
matter what.
now that you've got me thinking about it, it's so stinking obvious that I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't think about it before. I mean, it's. I think they made it clear pretty much from the first episode.
You should be embarrassed that I figured it out because
Eh.
I'm
Oh,
Self burn, yeah.
I was just.
Self-deprecation is my thing, man. You can't have it.
It's but I think that's the thing. But he lands on this thing, and he figures out. I guess he pays her in credits, right? Imperial credits.
Imperial credits.
Imperial credits, which is interesting because later we see all this was cool. All the buckets on pikes, right?
Yeah.
All the buckets on pikes. From the trailers, I thought it would be him that would have put them there.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I never really let that be defined in my mind.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, he's gonna knock out some bucket heads, and that didn't happen. But so we know that previously this town was run by the Empire. We know that the Sand Troopers were everywhere doing their thing, and clearly the people did not want them there.
No.
And the pikes are up there as a signal, as a sign that goes, "Don't come back." I guess is what that's all about.
Didn't they add a scene at the end of Return of the Jedi during one of the remakes where they showed the celebration of the fall of the Empire on Tatooine?
I think so. They were like,
I don't think it was in the first special edition, but I think in a subsequent release they added a scene on Tatooine. So what we saw there was the outcome of that.
Almost
Right.
so the rebellion overthrew it, and then everybody was
Yeah.
yeah. It was pretty cool scene. But then they go to the cantina, which we have all seen, and one of the I can't remember where this scene was, where they flew over the cliffs that we saw in episode 4, right? Was that before or after? I can't remember. But whatever it is, they sprinkled throughout episode 4, episode 1, all this stuff throughout all this episode, and I thoroughly enjoyed all the Easter eggs. I really did. Now, if you don't know which the Easter eggs are, there's a pile of them. But if you have to go back and watch some of the episode 4 and episode 1 to kind of catch some of this stuff. But let's see here. It was in the first. Harold says it was in the first special edition. He has spoken.
Was it? Okay.
That's what he says.
All right.
So
Cool.
But yeah, we got all that going on. But then we get to the cantina, which has droids in it for the first time we've ever seen. That's kind of weird. And then there was droids behind at the bar.
Which he doesn't seem to hate bar droids.
Company's looking for work. It's got paid.
Right? So he goes up there and he's like, "Hey, man, Well, the thing is, in episode 4, the droids like C-3PO and R2 weren't allowed in the bar. So there's no droids allowed in the bar. Now that the Empire's gone or whatever, now the droids run in the bar, and I guess it's free for all. Because maybe it's because there wasn't a whole lot of people there. I don't know, but I mean,
I guess
there was 2 people in this bar, and the Mandalorian being one of them.
A lot of alien ant things and stuff.
Right, that's right.
A Manus.
Yeah, like 2 humans.
But he's
That's speciesist, Ryan.
5 points.
5 points, Gryffindor.
But he says that there's no guild work. Did you find it interesting that he asked for work that the droid immediately went to? There's no guild work. I thought that was kind of weird. And then he says, "Well, I don't want that either." What if the droid had said, "Yeah, there's some guild work over there"? What would he have done?
Probably take it and get paid as long as nobody recognizes him.
Is that how it works?
I don't know.
It's a big galaxy, right?
It's a big galaxy.
I think it's crazy that the Bounty Hunters Guild is not operating there. So maybe we'll find out more as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. But he said there's no work for you here. Don't have any work, whatever. And then we get our Toro guy pop up, aka Han Jr. And or if we're talking about Lando, Han Jr.
I'm just gonna call him Anti-Han.
Anti-Han.
Yeah.
Baby Han.
Anti-Han.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? What did you guys think about that character?
My opinion of him changed with every subsequent viewing. To be entirely honest, the first time that I saw him, I could have just as easily done without him. Now, mind you, I had the flu. I wasn't in my right state of mind. I was all hopped up on drugs, and I'd just woken up bright and early on Friday morning, hacking up a lung. So I wasn't going to enjoy anything I was doing.
Right.
But every time that I've gone back and watched it and made myself analyze it, and that's why it was so important for me to talk about it early in this episode, in this live stream, is because I wanted to get it out, air it out, and start the conversation going. Because I think for what we're talking about here is showing us like a mirror universe kind of Han, like how Han could have gone if he'd been of a different quality of a human being. That's just interesting to me. I love a whole what if scenario, and that's what we saw there with Toro. Yeah.
I kept seeing James Franco.
Dude, he is so, I don't know who that guy is, but and this is so unkind of me to think this, but my first thought was, oh my God, he's like a poor man's James Franco. But I think his performance was really on point. I think he did a great job of channeling a young, cocky Han Solo.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of this kid's work. I know my wife used to watch Nurse Jackie, and he had a part on that several years ago.
Yes, he did.
Episodes. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't. I mean, I think I must have stopped watching the show at that point, but my wife might recognize him. He's a fine actor. I think he's going to go places. Yeah.
Everybody wants to know what you're drinking, Terry.
Straight
This,
Something out
this
of the
I
bear.
have-
They want to know what
have,
you're drinking out of the bear.
I'm drinking. What am I? I'm drinking honey out of the bear.
It's moonshine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, raw, unfiltered, local honey.
If you take some honey and mix it with cinnamon and make a tablespoon of a combo of it, it'll help your cough.
Okay, that's a hot tip. I have cinnamon, and clearly I have.
Equal parts honey, cinnamon. Mix it up, put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds. Scoop it out, take it, boom.
And,
all right,
and
I'm gonna do that next.
In the morning.
Yeah, I've gone through so much honey, honey, and Republic of Tea's Tea of Inquiry.
Mm.
It's loose leaf green tea with toasted rice.
I have Black Rifle. What the heck? I don't remember what blend it is, but it's Black Rifle coffee. So. Can't remember what blend it is. I got a bunch of them. Just got on a yeah, there we go. So the character. I'll be honest with you. I didn't like him. I didn't like the Toro. I didn't like him from the beginning.
Do you mean you didn't like him personally, or you just didn't like?
I didn't like the character.
No.
No, I don't. Okay, well, he fit in with the storyline, so let me get that. I didn't like him.
I liked him at the end with the chick. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, that was pretty neat. When
it was believable. I think the actor did a good job portraying what he was trying to portray. I don't have issues with that.
Right.
I just didn't like the character. I mean, I guess that was, and that's why I said, what was the intent of the directors? Was that their intent for him not to be a likable character? I don't know.
I think the intent was for him. Like I think you basically just that whole approach basically confirms what I was talking about. Han Solo is a likable character. Mm-hmm. This guy being the sort of anti-Han is essentially an unlikable character. When we're introduced to him, you really don't know what he's all about because he's pretentious, just like Han was pretending to be cool and everything when he first met Obi-Wan and Luke. And as time goes on and you get to know Han a little bit better, you get to see that a lot of that is kind of a facade, and he's not as certain as he would like you to believe that he's going to succeed, that his plan is the best plan, any of that. Even in Star Wars, I mean, it became a little bit more obvious in Empire, and then he was just almost a buffoon at times in Return of the Jedi.
That's true.
Yeah, but he was likable despite all that.
He was.
This guy, Toro, shares those same qualities of just pretentious, cocksure, just phony confidence, just this facade of confidence that he's constructed, trying to give himself a bigger name, trying to make himself more notorious in the galaxy.
Well, it's like when he smashed the fob and goes, "I got it right here."
Yeah,
super cocky.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that Han Solo would have done in Solo.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. True. But I mean, when you think about it, if you step back, if you didn't realize that was Han Solo in the first Solo movie, you might have looked at that guy and just been like, "This guy's kind of a jerk." So many ways. Yeah.
Primal Geek says, as soon as I saw the character, I knew Anti-Han was not going to see the end of the episode. He was the cadet in the red shirt. He wasn't going to make it. We're crossing universes here, but he wasn't going to make it. I'm with you, Primal Geek. I'm with you on that one. I didn't see him making it past the episode, and I'm also basing that on previous episodes where we've had the Mandalorian and a lead character, and then we haven't really seen a lead character jump episodes really.
There's been a lot of red shirts.
Been a lot of red shirts. So I didn't think he was going to make it.
More than I'd like, to be honest.
I'd like to see some continuity of something.
Yeah.
There was a part in this and it was like after the cantina scene. When he went back to his ship and he discovered Baby Yoda was gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the emotion that came out right in there when he went in there where that bed was at.
That's cool. You're right.
And I'm like, cool. This is like a father right now.
Yeah.
I mean, his emotional attachment to this Baby Yoda is so fatherly right now, and it really came out big time in that one scene right there.
Right.
He's a terrible father, though.
Do you think that's based on his previous experience of his parents being killed and him being an orphan and all that kind of stuff. Do you think that's?
I don't know. I mean, he's definitely throughout this whole 5 episodes has really bonded quickly.
I mean, because his kids brought him nothing but trouble.
But don't all kids?
Boom.
Yeah, but the adults do. The adults do.
I mean, because think about it. He's 50 years old, which is probably teenager-ish, maybe preteenish, and give or take. Terrible too.
If Yoda lived to be 900, so I mean.
But it's just funny to me that here's this tough, ruthless bounty hunter, that has just basically gave everything up for this Baby Yoda, and we still don't even know what's going on with Baby Yoda.
Right.
I do know this: they need to figure out where the tracking device is that's hidden Baby Yoda. Get rid of that. Then everybody quit showing up.
And he needs equipment showing Baby Yoda to everybody he finds.
But in this episode, though, Baby Yoda came out. Baby Yoda's like, "Look, hi, how y'all doing?"
Yeah, but there was no reason for Auntie Han to see Baby Yoda.
No.
Other than to move the story arc along at the end of the episode, but
Right.
That was. It's almost like he was. He needs to use his noggin. The Mando needs to use his noggin a little bit. Going, the more people that see this kid, the more trouble I get. I should not see him. And of course, he got out of the ship and the.
I got to say that I'm really willing to forgive that.
You are,
because if there's one thing that I've learned in my simple life. It's just that I'm completely unable to control all the elements, all the things that go on around me. And as complex as that guy's life is, I'm not surprised if it occasionally just becomes a mess. He couldn't possibly have foreseen that kid was going to wake up and use his force powers or whatever he did to throw open that closet that he kept him in, and wander out of the wander down the ramp of the ship and straight into the arms of Ripley.
Right.
Ellen.
Yeah,
but I feel like it was a nice fluid way to move along the narrative, in that he had to be able to lay eyes on the child.
Right.
Support it was crucial for that moment when Ming-Na Wen said to him, rumor has it that the bounty is a child.
Right.
So yeah, that was pretty important, and I think that was a believable way for that to happen.
Yeah,
it was kind of a snafu. He couldn't have foreseen that all that stuff was going to happen. He told the kid to meet him with some speeder bikes at the place. And he assumed that when he got back that his ship was going to be still on lockdown, that Baby Yoda was still going to be in the closet. And he gets back and he's just like, "Oh my God, no, it's a shit show."
Yep. So, he's like, "Man, kid, you did it again."
Because typically he's hauling captive people back, frozen. So he's not used to people walking around his ship.
That's true too. I want to go back to. So I think Pablo Lopez made a comment. It was a good episode, but I feel it was the weakest one, and I felt like a side mission filler. I can see why, after the first 3 episodes, especially, you might think that. But my thing here, Pablo, and everybody else who thinks that, is that we need to get used to that, because I think that that's what this show is going to be. Right. It's basically, and I don't know if we brought up Lone Wolf and Cub, but that's essentially what they're doing. They're basically taking Lone Wolf and Cub and putting it in the Star Wars universe, using a man wearing a baby Yoda as the other similarities that I've seen is Kung Fu, the old 70s TV show Kung Fu.
Oh, yeah.
With, was it David Carradine? I think
it was full of filler.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's all that it was. Yeah,
that was the show.
What you have, Terry? Like maybe 2 minutes out of 60 that was awesome action. Everything else was just filler.
Yeah, it was just, and that's part of what made it so awesome. Is the whole build up to that final confrontation. You held on for that entire episode to waiting for that 2 minutes at the end when you knew he was going to kick butt.
Oh yeah, you knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, so I'm down with this.
Mandalorian also has a soap opera feel to it.
Yeah,
it's
really definitely more soap opera-atic and less.
I'll go with that. Yeah. Where it moves along, but at a very, very slow pace.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the arc of his his story, and then you get all these little episodes. I can go with it. I'm not upset about it at all. I'm just happy they're making it.
James Robinson says he needs to quit leaving his ship open based on his cargo, etc. I think that's a valid point.
His ship was pretty jacked up.
Yeah.
I mean, and somebody had to work on it. They had to get in the ship.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, there's that, and it also, if he did start locking it up, it would violate a precedent that's been established throughout the entirety of Star Wars. Can you think of a time when somebody walked up to any ship anywhere and the loading ramp wasn't down?
That's true. Millennium Falcon's ramp was always down.
Always down. Always down. Any time in Rebels that you saw the Ghost, the loading ramp was down that I can think of. I mean, off the top of my head.
So nobody locks the door to their house.
Maybe. I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, it's obvious he doesn't have a Ring doorbell on the ship.
No.
Right. He doesn't have a Ring doorbell.
Primal Geek made a good point, talking about that there's a tracking device on Mando's ship, much like the Empire did to Millennium Falcon in Episode 4.
Right. Well, yeah, because Grief at the end of episode, was it 2, right? When he shoots Carl Weathers and knocks him out of the ship, he was probably putting on a tracking device. I can see that.
Everybody's tracking the Falcon.
Everybody can find it.
Not this ship, sister.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Look, I still, since he brought up that, and I'm rewinding a little bit, because during right after the space fight, as Kent put it, the first Star Wars we had in a Mando episode, when he was trying to get everything to work again, it reminded me of Han and Chewie beating on the ship on the Millennium Falcon, trying to get it to work, like with hyperdrive, wasn't working, and they're
right.
just
they're trying to save the tractor beam.
That's a nice little homage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is nobody going to bring up the Tusken Raiders?
I was going to, but no.
Okay.
Go ahead. You mean the ninjas? I'm calling them ninjas.
Yeah, the Tusken Ninjas. Yeah.
Tusken Ninjas.
Damn, sand ninjas.
Dudes, they straight up. This is another one of the cool things, and it goes back to you too, Pablo, because this, I think this is important. It was a 30-minute episode, cut and dried, and yeah, it felt short, especially compared to the last episode, but still, given that, they were able to fit so much into just a few seconds.
Oh my God!
That little bit with the Tusken Raiders was way less than a minute, and it gave us so much.
Right.
So much, and I think we saw a lot of that even in the original movies, just like little snippets of conversation that you would hear that would give you so much information, but at the same time open so many other questions and make you want to see more.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, why did here's goes back to the Western theme. If you were going back to a Western film, Western show, the Tusken Raiders would be the Native Americans.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in other words, they were here. Some would say this is their land and all that whole deal. That was very like on the money with Native Americans, that kind of deal.
Yep.
The sign language for communicating,
Native
Everything.
American all day long.
similar, right?
I'm so glad you brought that up because that actually I hadn't gotten to that part yet. I hadn't thought about that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I said, it was Western, all from A to Z. It was Western. It was
All day, every day.
And they like stuff. Just trade them something.
And they wanted to trade something. Yes.
Clone Wars era macro binoculars, right?
Yeah, I've been meaning to get me a set, but man, they're expensive. Oof.
Wait, do they have them in 1-to-1?
No, I don't know. I wanted some real ones.
Oh, you want some real ones? Yeah,
but I
can't
don't have
those
any
either.
Imperial credits.
Speaking of things that we can't afford that are speaking of things that we can't afford that are 1-to-1, and there's a delay
Yeah.
on the Mandalorian helmet.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah,
when you figured out which manufacturer it was, I was like, uh-oh.
That was just weird to me, right? That for all this time I was thinking that it was a Novos and it's EFX. So all right, whatever EFX.
Coming in 2025.
I've got your X-wing down here. That ran late too, and it looked beautiful. So
it'll show up when it shows up. It'll be great.
Yeah.
You just gotta be patient.
That's it. Yeah, I've got other things to think about.
Yeah, there'll be other items, exactly.
Yeah.
It was one of the best parts seeing Mando use sign language with them. Yes. Which was, Greg brought up something interesting. So they take this, he goes to help out Toro, right? And he says that she's an assassin. You're not going to make it back. In other words, that's what he said. He says you're going to die, pretty much. And he says, well, I'll help you out, whatever. Mando needs the money to fix his ship, so it's the only job available.
Right.
He takes the job. But knowing it's an assassin, why, Greg, you ready for this? Why does he not take this with him?
Yep. First and only time, this is the first episode where he did not have his rifle. You did not see the rifle at all.
He left it on the ship. For what purpose when he's going out to meet an assassin in the desert? What they call the dunes? What was it called?
The Dune Sea.
The Dune Sea from episode 4.
And I did prove a point. You can carry the rifle on a speeder bike.
Oh.
Well played, sir. Yeah.
He's like, I'm getting into the physics of this. It can be done.
But I thought that was very strange because every single episode, I say that like there's been 100 of them, but that rifle is an extension almost. It's like, and it's the most powerful. I mean, that thing disintegrates people. Come on. Right. So I don't know. I thought that, and that again leads to the title, Gunslinger, pistols. That's sort of what I was thinking. Gunfights,
right?
So
we didn't really get a gunfight per se, but
no. Well,
we didn't get a quick draw. Count. We didn't get one of those, but that's all right. I can live with that. But yeah, you left the pulse rifle with the child. I guess I don't know, whatever you left it.
That's smart.
Yeah, exactly. But then they go out there. I thought we dealt with the Raiders. We saw a Dewback again, which was amazing. Love Dewback. Which clearly, to me, was either bait, a trap. I don't know. I'm not. It just, the timing of it felt like it was a trap.
Another bounty hunter.
Yeah, it was definitely another bounty hunter, but it was just kind of dragging along. Maybe it's just coincidence. Timing wise.
How many westerns have we all seen where a horse is dragging his rider because his foot's hung in the stirrup?
Yep.
Because he's been shot off his horse.
Usually the horse is moving a little quicker.
True.
But speaking of horses, their speeder bikes were their horses.
Yes. Speeder bikes.
They were their horses. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. We got to see a Dewback, which was awesome. And then they go down and he says, "Look, I'm going to take a nap." And he takes a nap. Now let me ask you guys this. He said, "You take the first watch," right? That's what he said. He says, "I'm going to take a nap. You take the first watch." Was there ever a second watch?
Two sons, so maybe.
I think he just took a nap and the other guy just stayed up all night. I don't know.
But was he actually napping?
I think so.
I mean, it's hard. He's got his helmet on.
I don't know.
And that's what I thought was weird with the anti-Han, doing the whole gunslinger thing and twirling the gun and, quick drawing him. I'm like, dude, you don't even know if his eyes are open right now. I mean, he doesn't have like a light that goes off when he's asleep. I mean, come on.
I don't think Toro has a light on himself, and it's
he was just a cocky kid.
Totally.
That's all it was, and that's okay. But he, the fight scene they had, or the strategic battle plan that Mando had was pretty good plan. It's a pretty good plan. With the whole light grenades and flashbangs and all that kind of fun stuff, which you would see in any other kind of like a SWAT style attack. He used that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was pretty cool.
Toro almost blew the plan.
Yeah, he did. Let's see here. I don't think Mando was asleep. Knights of Ren. I think he was asleep. I don't know.
Yeah, he took that pretty good blaster bolt shot. Probably needed a little bit of rest.
From his Beskar.
Yeah,
What was that
good.
line he said, Terry? He said the best. He said the best guard took the hit or whatever, and then
But I don't have any Beskar, and he was like, nope.
Right.
he's like, oh well.
Did you notice where he got shot at? He got shot in the butt.
Did he get shot in the butt the first time?
When he goes over the dune, and she's got the scope on him, and the where the bolt hit, it was on the right cheek.
Oh snap!
So evidently he's
funny.
got coverage on his butt too.
So that was Forrest Gump. It jumped up and bit me.
Yes.
Nice.
Not gonna lie, I thought about that. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay.
Something jumped up and bit me.
But then you take right after that, and like you said, I don't have that armor. That comedic factor that is throughout these episodes. These little moments of comedy,
Right.
that fit so perfectly. You know, I don't have none of that. Nope, you don't. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
Yeah, he's you get that a lot in the Eastwood movies too, man.
Yes.
About it's just like the little tiny things that happen in the Eastwood movies.
I thought it was funny when they've got their heads sticking up over the dunes, literally 2 feet over the dunes. I'm like, there's a sniper. Number one, the sniper was a solid 20 miles away based on when he said she's on that ridge.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a solid 20 miles away. That's a heck of a shot.
Great shot. Yeah.
That's a heck of a rifle.
Yeah. But when I saw their heads up like, prairie dogs, just, like, not a good tactic, guys.
I think you have to be
will
willing
Hot
to
Toys have a
overlook little
butt
things
plate?
like
I
that
have
in
no
favor of the aesthetic of it. I mean, they're gonna have to peer over the dune. They're just gonna have to.
See, I look at that as some of those little comic things that you saw in older movies.
Mm-hmm.
The B movies, to where it doesn't make no sense, but it makes sense in this.
Yeah, well, it makes sense to them. Maybe not to us.
Anyway.
Yeah, the blaster rifle or the sniper rifle she had, I wouldn't mind having one of those. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
From that distance, however she was using it.
Well, it was modified.
Oh, it was modified.
Sniper rifle or pulse rifle? You can only have one.
Ooh. Do I get the disintegration cartridges?
Of course.
Oh, well, then I'll pulse rifle. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can
doesn't have the ring.
You can control like dinosaurs and stuff. So pulse
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw something out there to you, because all of us are comparing the Mandalorian, and a lot of people on the interweb and chats, everybody's comparing it to things they've seen, other movies, other TV shows. So when they're going across at night on the speeder bikes, I'm not kidding one bit. It reminded me of Ghost Rider. Nicolas Cage on the motorcycle. What's his name on the horse? You got the old Ghost Rider when they're riding to the mission.
Was that Bridges?
I was thinking of that.
Huh.
Old and new.
Huh. Yeah.
Will Hot Toys have a butt?
Will Hot Toys have a butt plate?
Only on the deluxe Mandalorian.
Only on the deluxe. That's right.
Well, we haven't seen a full Beskar armor Mandalorian from Hot Toys yet, so
Not yet.
chances are we will, because there's $1 to be made. So
We better. I need it.
yeah, I'm good with both. I like that both. That'd be great. Oh, or if they want to do one like the armor's like magnetic and you can change it out, that'd be cool too.
That would be cool.
That's actually what I was hoping for. I would really rather just have to pay for the figure once.
Me.
Yeah. What I think is more realistic is that we're going to get the one that we've already seen released.
Yep.
And then we'll have a deluxe version that comes with swap out armor.
Which I hope is diecast.
Ooh, that would be, yes.
I mean, it's
Make
just
it kind of top heavy.
I mean, I'm just saying. I like to see it.
I would not say no to diecast.
No, I like that. I mean, it's armor, you know. It's
Yeah.
But he throws out the flashbangs, if you will, flashbangs, because he's blinding this sniper rifle with night vision, which we've all seen before in different sniper movies or SWAT movies or military movies. We've all seen this stuff, which is pretty cool. So it made sense. So it didn't stuff like that make sense doesn't take you out of the show. Just you're like, yep, that makes sense. Let's do this. So they're throwing these different things at different times. Gets up there. And essentially, I mean, the plan works to one extent or the other. They take this assassin captive by the Mando sneaking up on her, because I think Toro was going to be dead there for a minute. He was going down until
it looked like it.
Yeah, Mando saved his
She
butt.
was pretty wicked. She was wicked.
She was good.
I liked having the little knife.
Of course she was. She's Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little longer fight scene there, a little more struggle.
But again, though, there was so much happened in that short time frame. I mean, think about it. You know, Anti-Han comes up. She pulls out the knife out of the stock, flips it, knocks his blast shadow's hand.
Yep.
Nice karate moves, boom, 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 boom. And all of this is happening in a 30-minute show.
Yep.
And I mean,
Yeah, I love the fact that they're just taking as long as they need to tell the story.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not confining themselves to a specific length.
It's like Cliff Notes for novels.
Yeah. I think Primal Geek's right. Mando used them as bait.
Oh yeah.
I saw that he said that. I don't think that was the intent with killing the bounty hunter. I think she was going to kill the bounty hunter one way or the other, but once it was done, then she left him out there as bait.
Yeah.
She probably didn't see the bounty hunter and said, I think these other bounty hunters are going to come, so I'm just going to kill this one and use it for bait.
I think
she killed him out of necessity, and then took advantage of the situation to lure in the other bounty hunters that she knew were coming.
I think what he was saying is Mando used Toro as bait.
I mean, it worked out that way, but really, Mando's bike got blown away because Tora missed his flare shot.
Right.
Did he miss?
That's it.
Did he miss, though?
Yeah.
Bunch of noobs.
And Mando took
it. He also points out that the Mando was on the same speeder bike that Anakin rode in Attack of the Clones. Thank you for confirming that for me, Primal. I thought that was it, but I didn't follow up on it, so I wasn't sure if I was just crazy, which is also true. But I wasn't sure if I was crazy or if that was definitely Anakin's bike.
Back up.
What?
The same model of speeder bike?
The same model of speeder bike that Anakin was using on Tatooine in Attack of the Clones, when he was cruising around looking for his mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Some old bikes.
Yeah, it is. Pre-Clone Wars era.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. I don't think Fennec Shand is dead. Knight of Ren. I don't know. She was laying there for an awful long time.
Yeah. Okay.
And we haven't seen. we talked about earlier. Characters aren't making it from episode to episode to episode. That's just not. It's not happening. So.
Nope.
I don't know. What do you think, Terry?
Collector point. Well, I think she's dead, man. I think it was a one and done. There are throwaway characters in Star Wars all the time. Look at Boba Fett.
Nope.
Yeah. So much promising, so much coolness, so much potential, and then ultimately just somebody to just show up, look cool for a few minutes, and then die. That's
like Luke Skywalker.
And not necessarily in a glorious fashion. Yeah. So yeah, I think she's dead.
Yep.
I think that the person that we saw at the very end is the character played by Christ, I can't think of his name now. Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad. What's that actor's name? Giancarlo Esposito.
That guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't think it's the Fett?
I don't think it's the Fett. I know there are people out there who think, or probably more accurately hope, it's the Fett.
Okay, so if you watch closely when he or she drops down to one knee, the person has on knee boots, black knee boots. Yeah. There's no armor on them. It's like, and I don't think Boba Fett ever wore those kind of boots.
I think they came from is when he was walking, you heard the spurs.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you pause it right there, there is no spurs on the boots.
Right.
And the boots actually come up almost to the knee. Pants are tucked in the boots. So I don't know. It's
the spur thing is an affectation, and that's 2 Filoni episodes in a row that have featured a character walking, making a spur sound when no spurs were present on the character.
They did it with the Mando.
They did it with Mando at the beginning of episode 1. Filoni directed that. Now he's done it again. So now that you bring that up, I'm wondering if that wasn't Filoni sending some message that there's some sort of connection between this person and the Mandalorian.
I think he just likes spurs.
I think you're probably right, but I really want to believe that it's something a little bit deeper than that.
Yep.
I'm trying to. I completely forgot what I was just going to be looking up on my phone right now.
One of the speeder bikes was Star Wars Celebration this year or last year. Oh, was that Star Wars? All right. So Pablo says she has another. Since that was showed in the promo trailers, that was not in this episode. She has another what?
Can you develop that a little more, Pablo? Tell us what else she had.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Cape is too long for Fett. Well, it doesn't have to be Fett per se. Now, I saw somebody said that back in the day that Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit, and then he lived his life, died, whatever. And then somebody else got his arm. Was it in the comic or the EU? Where somebody
Aftermath. There is a character in the Aftermath novels, which are canon, and there is a character that could be Fett. That if it's not Fett, he at least found his armor.
Ooh.
Right. But regardless, Fett didn't have knee-high boots.
The Sarlacc pit.
Can I interrupt here for a second?
Got ripped open.
That's who it is.
That's what I was thinking.
It's definitely Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
What I was.
Yeah, that's Giancarlo Esposito's character.
Yeah.
He's wearing a cape, and that uniform he's wearing, you can bet your butt that he's got knee-high boots on.
By himself, though? That's kind of brave of him to show up by himself.
I would imagine he's probably pretty formidable.
But we don't know that he's by himself. They just see him walking up on this dead bounty hunter and don't know what's behind him. Or
I didn't see any death troopers.
He could have a full-on regiment for all we know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That could be interesting.
She was shown fighting in a town in one of the teaser trailers. Okay. That's interesting. But that could just as easily be a flashback.
It could be that, or it could be one of those Russo brother things where they just throw out stuff and it has nothing to do with nothing.
Exactly. That's another one.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and say that this isn't even going out on a limb. I'm just gonna open up and say that I hope she isn't dead. I hope that I'd be okay with it being a clone or anything like that. I would just like to see more out of Ming-Na. That's all.
Yeah, I hope she's not dead as well.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But she got beat by a rookie. That's all I'm saying.
Well, he did have her dead to rights. There's really not much you can do.
Yeah. It's Jon Favreau in cowboy boots to mess with everyone.
Oh, stop.
I don't think that's the case. I think the Moff Gideon's probably the best guess so far. I don't see the. The only thing
I think Moff Gideon is going to be the big bad. I mean, you don't bring in Giancarlo Esposito just to have him as a throwaway.
Yeah.
In fact, it wouldn't surprise me at all to find out that Moff Gideon is the one who's behind whatever happened to Mando's parents. Maybe that's too trite. I don't know. But I think that there's going to wind up being some kind of connection there. At the very least, there's going to be a connection to the child.
Right.
Like this is the guy to whom the client answers to, that he alluded to in episode 3.
There's one person I want to see back in the next episode.
Are you unboxing an action figure of that person?
Yes.
That
I
person
don't think it happened.
Does that person's name start with an I and end with a G11?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Although that would be cool.
Yeah.
No. That was
Is
loud.
it Cara? Cara Dune?
Cara Dune.
Bring her back. I'm ready.
Cara Dune. I want her to do the superhero landing. She did in Deadpool. Superhero landing. She's gonna do it. She's gonna do it.
So bad on the knees.
It's always bad. Well, at that point, she was good. I'd like to see her back.
I think we're going to see. I definitely think we're going to see more of her. I don't think it's going to be until season 2, though.
Oh.
I think at the end of season 1, for some reason, I think that's when you're going to start seeing them two team up and be more Batman and Robin-ish.
Yeah.
You know.
I did get a little bit of a spoiler for next week's episode in the form of a synopsis. When I was looking up, I was trying to learn the name of the actor who played Toro, and it just happened to pop up the synopsis for next week. So should I say
a synopsis?
Yeah, basically like a little blurb telling you what's happening next week.
We'll let the chat decide.
Like the synopsis for this week's episode would have been the Mandalorian teams up with a beginner bounty hunter who can't handle the bounty that he's been given.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
let the chat.
But I'll leave that. I'll let it all be a surprise for everybody.
I'm good with it.
Gina Carano has 3 episodes. That's good.
Yep.
Well,
I think
sooner in one.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think it's going to be. Not the last 2, but I think they're going to be more and more in season 2.
Not many episodes left.
Well,
it's really hard to get a superhero landing in a Black Series figure.
Yes, it is.
That's very difficult to get. I'm trying. It ain't happening. There's no superhero landings in Star Wars. Anyways, we're over an hour, guys. I think we should wrap up.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we jump off of here and let Terry get back to rest and tea and honey and stuff?
I'm getting back to work, man. I'm on deadline.
Boom.
Deadline.
I'm working on a project myself, so yeah.
Oh, and I just want to give a shout out, let everybody know that tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Sideshow's YouTube channel, I'll be showcasing the Mythos Obi-Wan Kenobi 6-scale figure.
Boom.
In a video. First video I've done in a while. So a little bit rusty, but I got some shots from that I'm really proud of. So nice. Tune in, take a look. The shots will probably also be going up on my Instagram and definitely on my Facebook. Because I love to annoy all my high school friends with the fact that I take pictures of action figures in my adulthood. Something to be proud of.
Tomorrow we have somebody's birthday tomorrow, I think.
Is it?
Is that tomorrow? Right?
Yeah, that might be tomorrow.
Is it your birthday tomorrow?
It's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh. And you know what he's going to do for his birthday? He's going to go to work.
Go to work twice. Double up on work.
Are you having a birthday stream? What are you doing, man?
I am going to job number 1 and then headed to job number 2.
There you go. I'm just throwing this out there. I have something for you, but it has not arrived yet.
Ooh.
So just stay tuned for that. We'll have to figure that out. I'm hoping it'll be here any day, but you know how that goes with the Christmas holiday shipping crap, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sir.
So anyways, I do have something for that. So, happy early birthday.
Yes. Well, thank you.
And he's going to be 17.
17. Just like Baby Yoda.
Like Baby Yoda. So yeah, definitely good. Now, Kent also, again, like I said earlier, we went yesterday, bought a bunch of toys for Tots. Kent's video's up. Go check that out. Greg, what you got going on tomorrow or this week?
Hunt video tomorrow. I went out and done some toy photography today. Done a video on that with this little bad boy right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be coming out this week. And got some unboxings and stuff to do. So, but right now, I got something more important.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
All right.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gimple Live.
17 years old.
Happy birthday to you.
And many more.
Many more.
That's pretty cool, man.
Well, thank you, sir.
Right? Oh man, look at all these people. They're crazy. Yeah, so Kent's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah, definitely check out Kent Pool Live. I'm sure he will do something tomorrow if he's not exhausted and don't get hit in the head with volleyball. I'm sure
Maybe we'll do something Wednesday. I
Wednesday?
gotta get through volleyball.
all right,
two-
we'll do something.
two
Well,
nights
hopefully
try.
my package will be here by Wednesday. I hope so. You know
I
how that is.
might have a birthday package coming from Hasbro.
Oh.
Ooh.
Thank you, Hasbro.
Yeah, in advance. Thank you, Hasbro.
We didn't even get to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about some statues. We'll do another episode of this. But Mandalorian, guys, episode 5 is a wrap. Episode 6, Friday, right? It's not Wednesday. It's Friday. And,
Yeah, the only Wednesday's the movie release week.
which is yeah, that's coming up
Coming
very
up.
quickly. Everybody got
Yeah,
tickets,
that's
right?
less than 2 weeks out, man. That's
Yes.
it's gonna be
There's
something.
a Star Wars movie coming.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
5:30. I got a 5:30 showing. Whew, that's gonna be fun.
I'm
So,
going at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m.
Crazy, man.
6 o'clock for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
By the time Terry gets in there, I would have already been immersed in 30 minutes of Star Wars
Oh,
awesomeness.
Yeah, he keeps saying that all the time, everybody. He's been rubbing that in for a while.
It's true. It's true. And by the time Greg gets there, I would have already seen it twice.
Hey, but I did check day before yesterday, and as of right now, out of 200 seats, there's only 40 of them taken up at the 10 o'clock show. So
Wow.
I will have some good enjoyment, and no one is still sitting around me yet.
Not a lot of love for the new Star Wars movie among the night.
No. They're all going throughout the day in the early.
Yeah.
So that's why I picked 10 o'clock, because I didn't want to be surrounded by a whole bunch of idiots.
Are you guys?
I
going-
just
are you-
like to point out that by the time I got around to ordering tickets, it was already late in the game, and I don't know if somebody had bought a ticket and canceled or what, but I got a really good seat, like kind of in the middle, and the seat number, believe it or not, is E11.
11.
Right?
I've got one of those around here somewhere.
Only real Star Wars geeks know what that means.
It's true. Mine was 13.
Oh, yeah, okay, you win.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off of here, guys.
All right, guys.
Happy birthday, Kent.
Good times.
Guys.
Until next time.
Till next time.
Thanks for having me on, guys, by the way. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah. Till next time.
Until next time, we have spoken.
Everybody spoke. We
Yeah.
spoke.